What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video we've got the Great League Battle of Spice, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure you guys are prepared for the absolute insanity that's about to go down in today's video. We have 20 of the spiciest Great League teams ever assembled, but that's not all. This is part 1 of 3 Great League Battle of Spice videos that I'll be putting out across the next few days, so if you appreciate all the time and effort that goes into making these videos, please leave a like on the video right now to show your support, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel to ensure you don't miss out on any of those upcoming videos. I haven't actually started putting those videos together just yet, but if this video gets 1,000 likes, I will upload part 2 tomorrow. In order to vote for your favourite spicy team featured in this video, I will be making polls here on YouTube across the next few days, so make sure you check the community tab on my channel if you don't already see the polls on your YouTube homepage. And with that being said, let's finally get into the question of the day. What's the craziest Pokemon you've ever seen someone run in the Go Battle League? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the Battle of Spice. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead with a shiny Phantom into Shadow Meganium, get a safe swap into our Great League Rayquaza, yes that's right, a Great League Rayquaza, and the opponent responds with a Mantine. We go for the Breaking Swipe, unfortunately no attack debuff on the first time that we do use this move, but now we're going to shield this up, they go for an Aerial Ace bait, and we do make it to Breaking Swipe number 2. We could really do with an attack drop at this point in time, and we do get the attack drop, although Rayquaza is very glassy, so we're actually going to double shield anyways. We shield up the Aerial Ace, we can now go for the Dragon Tail Farm Down, and let's see, the opponent comes back in with their Shadow Meganium, and we make it to yet another Breaking Swipe in time. Breaking Swipe grabs a shield, it gets another attack drop before the opponent can finally fire off a charge move. Frenzy Plant, even double resisted with an attack drop, does actually take out the Rayquaza, but the opponent's got a Digger's Beat in the back, so this is actually pretty good for us here. We can go for a Dragon Pulse. Dragon Pulse, really not going to do much damage there. This is a level 50 Noibat, by the way, and it doesn't even reach 750 CP. We're now going to swap into our Phantom, catch the resisted Scorching Sands. We should resist everything here as long as they're not running Fire Punch, and it looks like the opponent's probably running Scorching Sands and Hyper Beam, and Hyper Beam would be double resisted, so that's why they're not throwing it. We go for a Seed Bomb, dealing huge damage there. The opponent is going to overfarm too much, allowing us to make it to another Seed Bomb in time. Seed Bomb takes out the Diggersby. The opponent comes back in with their Meganium, but we can make it to an Air Cutter. Actually, no, the opponent does actually fire off a charge move here, but it's just a Frenzy Plant double resisted by the Noibat. We make it to Air Cutter, one of the worst charge moves in the game, but we still take out the Shadow Meganium, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, we got a triple duck theme team. Firstly with a Farfetch'd, which isn't even the Galarian version, so this Pokemon doesn't even reach 1500 CP. We're going to shield up our Body Slam. We are normal and flying, so unfortunately had to respect the damage from a potential Rock Slide there, but we go for a Leaf Blade, grab a shield, and now we swap into our Surfetch. The opponent going to respond with an Air Slash Skarmory. Unfortunately not throwing on good timing there. It is always quite difficult when we do swap out and the opponent swaps out there to make sure we throw on good timing, but here we're just going to make sure we get off a second charge move, and we actually grab a shield with the second Night Slash there. We're now going to come in with the Shadow Golduck, shield the first charge move as they go for a Sky Attack, and because they are running Air Slash, unfortunately, we are not going to resist the fast moves, but we're going to fire off a Cross Chop straight away. Cross Chop takes out the Skarmory, they come back in with their Vigoroth, they can already fire off another charge move. Body Slam will get us into the yellow health range, and the opponent already makes it to yet another Body Slam, so we need a Farfetch'd sweep in the end game. We're going to come in with the Farfetch'd, we go for the Leaf Blade, this should be enough damage from this range to take out the Vigoroth, and the opponent's got a Swampert in the back, so Leaf Blade should be enough damage from this range to very easily take out the Swampert. Actually no, it doesn't quite take them out there. It is a non-stab Leaf Blade from a 1200 CP Farfetch'd, but we do still take that game there. And into the next battle, we've got a Geodude, level 50 I do believe, gets to 1462 CP, and we are up against a Shadow Gligar, so of course resisting the wing attacks, but we have to respect the dig there. The opponent's going to swap into Vigoroth, a bit of an awkward matchup here as we do resist the charge moves, but these counters are super effective. We land a Rock Slide that did huge damage, and then we swap into our shiny Shadow Weepinbell, so very cool flex. They go for a Body Slam that nearly takes us out, but we can at least make it to a Power Whip in time. Power Whip, gonna grab a shield from the Vigoroth, but they will get the resisted counter farm down. We're now going to wait out Switch Clock here as long as possible, come back in with our Geodude, probably just sacrifice it here. We should actually live this, whatever they throw, it's just a Body Slam, and we get the Rock Throw farm down. The opponent's going to snipe with their Skarmory, but we're going to come in with our our Shiny Magby. We are running Ember as well, so the opponent is going to go and full send a Brave Bird, and that's going to allow us to fully Ember farm them down. And now can we make it to back-to-back Fire Punches? Yes, we can. The first one should be grabbing the final shield from the Shadow Gligar, and the second one is going to do a ton of damage. Does this KO the Gligar? Yes, it does, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, we've got a triple Porygon theme team, and not only that, the opponent is also running a Porygon Z. So that is amazing to see. The opponent also running Hidden Power for whatever reason, and we're able to fully tackle farm them down there. That's insane. They're now going to come in with Scrafty, which is not ideal for us, but I believe they're running Snarl here, so clearly the opponent isn't like the highest, well, skilled battler, probably a very low rank battle, but in the Battle of Spice, we don't care about ranks here. All we care about is spice and entertainment, and this battle so far has already been quite entertaining. We're going to shield up the charge move from the Scrafty. The opponent's going to go for an Acid Spray there. Oh my gosh, this battle is crazy, even though, like, it's a very low rank battle for sure. We are now going to let the next move go through as the opponent is going to go and Power Up Punch. That does a ton of damage now, and they make it to another charge move already. Snarl very fast to gain energies. We're actually going to shield that just to make sure we get off this Tri-Attack. Tri-Attack is going to take out the Scrafty, and the opponent's got Bastiodon in the back, but they're running Iron Tail as the fast move, and I do believe Iron Tail did get a buff this season, but it's still really rubbish. We're going to go for a Zap Cannon, dealing huge damage, debuffing their attack, and what is the opponent going to throw here? They go for the Flamethrower, which is non-stab, definitely not the right move to go for, and we can make it to a second Zap Cannon in time. Zap Cannon is enough damage to take out the Bastiodon, and we take that game. And speaking of Bastiodon, we see it in the lead. We're going to safe swap into our Axew, which is probably level 50, but if not, it is very excelled. We're now going to go for an Aqua Tail once again. We're actually running Iron Tail this time around. I don't know if that's better than Scratch for Axew, I don't know. Both fast moves are very rubbish on the Axew, but we can go for a second Aqua Tail, maybe grab a shield here, although Bastiodon can still tank this quite comfortably. They do actually shield, but they will be able to fully smack down, farm us down. We're now going to come in with our Shadow Mightyena here, and I am not sure if we're running, I think this is Thunder Fang here, it might be Ice Fang, not 100% sure, but we're going to go for a Crunch up into the Medicham, dealing huge damage. We now swap into our Floette. And we are going to see the opponent goes for a Psychic. We do tank that fairly well there. We can go for a Psychic of our own. This should be enough damage from this range to KO the Medicham. The opponent lets that go through. They're going to come in with Sableye, and honestly, I think we need to land the Dazzling Gleam. Do they know about the Dazzling Gleam damage here? We full send it, and we one-shot the Sableye. They come back in with the Bastiodon, and we can just fully Thunder Fang, farm down the Bastiodon, shield the last charge move here. Flamethrower grabs the shield, but we get the fast move farm down, and we're able to take that game. Into next game, we got a triple ice theme team here, but with some very spicy picks, especially that Crabominable in the back. The opponent's going to respond to our Piloswine safe swap with an Ice Fang for Feraligatr, which is also very spicy. The opponent doesn't make it to a charge move yet, so we can go for an Avalanche, grab a shield advantage, and also, at this point, we can just shield this up, go for a full resisted Powder Snow farm down, and we're going to come out with another Avalanche loaded. So let's see what the opponent wants to do. They come in with a Charger Bug, so running double electric ABA there, and we can grab a shield there. We're now going to swap into our Crabominable here. Obviously, Cloyster not got a great matchup up against their team here, so they've got two electric-type Pokemon remaining, but all shields are down. We're going to go for a Crab Hammer, dealing huge damage to the Charger Bug, but unfortunately, they do get the full farm down. At this point, we might just come in with our Piloswine, force the opponent to throw their energy, and that's exactly what they do. We know shield, it is the X-Scissor. We can come in with our Cloyster, and the opponent is staying in. They allow us to farm them down, and they've got a charge move on their Raichu, but I don't think it matters here. The opponent goes for a Wild Charge. We can go for Liquidation, and Liquidation, certainly with the defense drop, will be enough damage to take out the Alolan Raichu, and we're able to take that game. Into next game, we got a Purified Alolan Dugtrio into a Shadow Alolan Marowak, and look at the fast move damage from both Pokemon there. We just barely make it to a Mud Bomb in time before they fast move farm us down. We grab a shield advantage, but they're able to fully fire spin farm us down there. We then come in with Jinx, and we're going to no-shield this. Why? Shadow Ball will be one-shotting the Jinx, and now it's all up to the Shadow Manectric. They come in with a Shadow Swampert. This looks like game over. Do we actually win this battle here? I mean, I do request that you win in these battle submissions, so I'm assuming we do, but I can't see how we win this battle. We're going to shield up the Hydro Cannon. They will make it to a second Hydro Cannon, but honestly, with the defense drop, we might be able to Thunder Fang farm them down at this point. It's going to be incredibly close here, but we do get the farm down, and we come up with a Wild Charge loaded, and there's a Golbat in the back. Wild Charge easily one-shots a Shadow Golbat, and we're able to take that game. That was absolutely insane. Into the next game, and by the way, on my graphic, I do not have shiny Shadow Pokemon, or at least not the shiny Shadow Pokemon, so this is a triple shiny Shadow team. I've just got the regular ones because I don't have them as a shiny Shadow, but we're going to see a Trevenant, which is a huge core breaker to the entire team. We come in with our shiny Shadow Sharpedo, and honestly, when you've got a team like this that you're flexing, you should probably double move your Pokemon, but I do understand it's very expensive to do so just for a Battle of Spice submission, but I appreciate it anyways. The opponent's going to come in with a Carbink, and we can hit for huge damage with the Shadow Seed Bomb from the Alolan Exeggutor, sorry, the regular Kanto Shadow Exeggutor. And now we come in with our Blastoise. They do make it to a charge move, unfortunately. So we're going to respect the damage. It is a Moonblast, grabs our final shield, and they come in with Annihilate. So we should be able to make it to back-to-back Hydro Cannons here before they make it to a Shadow Ball. We grab the first shield, we make it to the second Hydro Cannon, and this is going to do a ton of damage from a Shadow Blastoise. It gets them very low. They do just barely make it to a charge move. But this is just the Ice Punch. It's resisted damage. We get the Water Gun farm down, and we're able to farm down the Carbink and take that game. So going into the next battle, Rufflet into Dedenne, we've got a triple normal team with a few very spicy XL Pokemon, including this Teddy Ursa that's coming in. Unfortunately, they are going to resist all of our charge moves, but I mean, we could run Trailblaze, we could run what else? Play Rough, but the opponent is going to shield the first move there. We are going to go for another cross chop. Honestly, both charge moves are resisted, but we'll just throw whatever one we can get to. The opponent does let it go this time. They could have farmed us down, but they choose to throw there, scared of another charge move coming in. They go for a discharge. We are now going to wait out our switch lock. We are switch locked, whereas the opponent isn't. Although the switch lock is now up, we could swap out if we want to. We are going to tank the charge move. It's a Play Rough that does huge damage to the Furret, but let's see what the opponent wants to do. They're going to come in with an Arcanine. We're going to go for a dig, but the opponent outpaces us to the charge move before we can throw the dig. They go for a Psychic Fangs. We're now going to throw on alignment, so not great timing, but dig is going to grab the final shield from the opponent, so we swap into our Rufflet, and the opponent comes in with a Walrein. We make it to the Brave Bird on the CMB tie. Brave Bird does huge damage to the Walrein. It puts them into farm down range, and we're actually going to sacrifice the Rufflet here, come back in with our Furret, and we come out with a Dig loaded, which we can throw straight away into the Arcanine coming back in. Dig one-shots the Arcanine, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, we see Overqwil in the lead, and I actually don't even have a single Overqwil, or a Quillfish actually, Hisuian Quillfish anyways, to take a snapshot of, and I wasn't going to get someone to trade me one, and then do 10 raids in order to get a snapshot of a Overqwil for this video. So it is a mistake in the graphic, but what can I do? Not a lot. We're going to see a Bastiodon swapping into our Pokemon. Honestly, we don't have great responses to Bastiodon. We saw Aquatail did very little damage there, so we come in with our Uxie, basically just to sponge the damage, and Future Sight really doesn't do too much there, but the opponent is going to have to throw another charge move to get rid of us. So at this point, we're probably just going to let this go down. We know that Whimsicott in the lead, both Pokemon can actually deal with it fairly comfortably, so we don't really care if we win switch advantage or not. We're going to go for an Aquatail. Aquatail doesn't quite take them out, but we Poison Jab farm them down. And now they come in with a Poliwrath. We're going to go straight for a Sludge Bomb here. Sludge Bomb is going to do big damage, so the opponent uses a shield, and we come in with our Purified Venomoth. Unfortunately, not running Confusion here, which would be really good for us. They go for an Icy Wind. They now swap back into their Whimsicott, and we can overfarm here. Going to go for a Poison Fang. Unfortunately, with the Icy Wind debuff, that doesn't quite take them out, but we can still very easily tank a C-bomb, which is double resisted, really doesn't do much damage at all, and at this point, we are going to shield this up and go for a full infestation farm down. We're going to come out with well over 100 energy. Of course, I can only use 100 of the energy there, but we're going to go for a Poison Fang. Poison Fang goes unshielded. We're now just going to full send the return here. We need this to land. Return coming through. Return is going to take out the Poliwrath with a shield up there, and we're able to take that game. Into the next game, we've got a shiny Conkeldurr into a Medicham, and this Conkeldurr, I believe, is running Poison Jab as the fast move. We can make it to a Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing, not going to do too much damage here, but we grab a shield, and then we save swap into our Spoink, and I think someone in the comments has asked me to use Spoink. Spoink does basically reach 1500 CP if it is fully maxed out, but unfortunately its fast moves are Zen Headbutt, which is awful, and then Splash, which is a fast move that does literally 0 damage, so yeah, not great, but this trainer is using it, going for a Shadow Ball and grabbing both shields from a Medicham as well, which is pretty crazy. Dynamic Punch will be taking out the Spoink, but we can come in with either Pokemon here. We're going to come in with the Beautifly here and probably go for a full infestation farm down. The opponent comes in with their Galarian Stunfisk. We're able to swap out, catch the Rock Slide. We're actually going to shield it anyways, which was completely unnecessary. But I suppose they will make it to a second charge move here. So we go for the Dynamic Punch. Unfortunately, Dynamic Punch barely doesn't take them out, and Poison Jab is going to be very difficult to get the farm down with, as it is triple resisted. They go for the Rock Slide. They can probably mud shot farm us down, but they throw their energy. This is absolutely fine. We're just going to let this go through, come in with our Beautifly here, get the infestation farm down. They come back in with the Medicham, so we're going to fire off our Silver Wind here. Silver Wind will be taking out the Medicham, and they've got Greninja in the back, and this Silver Wind is super effective damage. Silver Wind takes out the Greninja there from full health. That was insane damage, and we're able to take that game. Into next game, we've got a bit of a Japanese theme team here, and the Oricario, by the way, I didn't have whatever version this is, so the graphic once again displaying the wrong Oricario, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to see a Medicham in the lead, going to shield up the Ice Punch here. A bit surprising that we didn't farm up to the Solar Beam there. Would be very cool to see it land, but here we're going to go for a Hydro Cannon, throw it on the CMP tie with the Talonflame. And we can probably let the first move go through. We're going to let it go through, and the opponent's going to go for a Flame Charge bait, so that's absolutely fine with us. We can now make it to a second Hydro Cannon on the CMP tie with the next charge move. Hydro Cannon takes out the Talonflame. They come back in with the Medicham. They can get a full counter farm down, but that's okay because we've got Oricario, and I believe this one is Ghost and Flying, which means we're triple resisting the counter damage. Gonna let the move go through. Ice Punch is super effective, but they're going to swap into a Ferrothorn, so we're going to swap, catch the resisted Power Whip onto our... I can't even remember what this thing's called here, but we're going to go for a Weather Ball Fire. Cherrim, that's what it's called. And can we make it to a last second Weather Ball? Yes, we can. This is going to hit for double super effective damage. Weather Ball nearly takes them out, and they threw on the CMP tie as well, which is perfect for us. Power Whip takes us out. We can come in, get the Air Slash farm down, and we can just go for an Aerial Ace into the Medicham, and the opponent recognizing there's nothing they can do, so they just concede the match there. Into the next game, we've got a Miss Drevius into a Conkeldurr, so maybe the opponent is also running for the Battle of Spice. We are going to let the Brutal Swing go through. That does big damage there, and now we're going for a Dark Pulse as well, which isn't... well, it's resisted and non-stab, so I'm not sure. I know Ominous Wind is a bad move, but probably you still want to go for Ominous Wind in this matchup, but it doesn't do much damage, but we get the unnecessary boost. Of course we do, just as we're going down. We're now going to shield up the next Brutal Swing. Could have been a Stone Edge, which would easily one-shot a Yanmega. And we do get the full Wing Attack farm down. They come in with a Mudslap Excadrill, so honestly... we probably could have just stayed in that matchup for a lot longer. Of course, a Rock Slide would take us out, but those Mud Slaps were doing triple resisted damage, and I'd say a Bug Buzz probably one-shots them anyways. Yanmega does have quite a high attack stat, and we barely make it to a Night Slash with our Shadow Scizor. This will be taking out the Excadrill from this range. The opponent's got Greninja in the back, and once again, we can go for the Bug Buzz here. Bug Buzz will easily be enough damage to one-shot the Greninja, and it is a bad day to be a Greninja, as we one-shot them once again with a Bug move, and we're able to take that game. Into the next game, we've got a triple shiny turtle theme team. Once again, I don't have all of these as shinies. Actually, I've only got the Blastoise, so I thought just go for a regular version in the graphic. But either way, we're seeing a Jellicent in the lead. Bit strange to see that we got ABA Fire Turtles when we could run Blastoise in the lead, but honestly Blastoise doesn't have a great matchup up against Jellicent either, so either way not looking too good for us, but we are going to go for a Flamethrower here, and Flamethrower is going to grab a shield from the Jellicent. We actually grab both shields here, so clearly the opponent very weak to Turtonator in the back. They want to get rid of it, and they go for a Shadow Ball to do so. We're now going to come in with our Blastoise, possibly go for a full, no, okay, we're just going to go straight for the Hydro Cannon. This probably won't KO from this range. Actually, it does KO, and the opponent's got a Vigoroth in the back, so we should be able to live any move they throw. This is just going to be a Body Slam. Body Slam not going to do too much damage, but we are in range where they might be able to counter farm us down. We're going to go for a Hydro Cannon here. Hydro Cannon is going to do big damage when it connects, and now we're going to swap into our Torkoal here. Now Torkoal is fairly bulky, so Rock Slide doesn't actually KO, and now they come in with a Poison Sting Drapion. We're going to go straight for the Overheat. Overheat is going to hit for huge damage, nearly one-shots them, and the opponent has to throw a Charge Move to get rid of us. Crunch will be taking us out. We can come in with the Blastoise, go for the Water Gun, farm down, Water Gun, farm down the Vigoroth, and we're able to take that game. Into the next game, we got Tangela into a Bastiodon, so very interesting matchup here, probably never been seen before, but we're going to go straight for a Power Whip. We've got two ground types in the back, so honestly a bit surprising that we're not swapping out, although Camerupt of course going to be taking neutral damage from the Smackdowns, but either way it's still a much better matchup. But the opponent is going to shield their Bastiodon. At this point we might just let the Tangela go down. Yes, we are going to let it go down to a Flamethrower, come in with our Shadow Donphan, go for a full counter farm down, and let's see what the opponent wants to do. They come in with a Chestnut. We've got a Fire type in the back, but we're choosing to stay in here. Gonna go for the Body Slam spam, grabbing a shield with the first one. We can now go for Body Slam number 2, and Body Slam is going to do some sizable damage in this matchup. They've got no shields remaining. They swap into their Alolan Ninetales, and this is absolutely game over. We can go for the full Incinerate farm down, safely shield up the Weather Ball coming from the Ninetales, and now we can go for either Charge Move here, honestly, from this range, but we go for the Overheat. Overheat will be enough damage to take out the Chestnut, and we're able to take that game. Into the next game, we have got a Dolliv here, which I have never seen in the Go Battle League before. We're then going to make a very nice swap, catching the double resisted X-Scissor onto our Skeledirge, which, by the way, isn't particularly spicy this season, but the team overall is pretty cool. We're going to go for a Shadow Ball. The opponent stayed in for way too long there, clearly don't have a great response to the Skeledirge. We grab a shield there, and at this point, we're happy to let the Skeledirge go down. But the opponent goes for an unnecessary Icy Wind bait, and we can make it to another Shadow Ball. So Shadow Ball coming through. Shadow Ball grabs both shields from the Dugong here. They still have to throw a Charge Move to get rid of us. At this point, we're definitely letting Skeledirge go down. We can come in with the Dolliv once again. And we are going to go and swap and once again catch a double resisted X-Scissor onto our Salazzle. You love to see it. The opponent will be able to make it to one final Charge Move here. We're going to shield this up, and the opponent is going to go for another X-Scissor, but I think they did have the energy for a discharge, so just shield it up to be safe. The opponent comes back in with the Dugong. We're going to go straight for a Fire Blast here. Fire Blast takes out the Dugong, and the opponent's got a Vigoroth in the back, so unfortunately Dolliv hasn't done much in this battle so far, but hopefully we do see it land the final blow. We're going to go for a Poison Fang here, just guarantee they're in range to take them out with the Dolliv, and now we swap into Dolliv, go for a Trailblaze here, and this will easily be enough damage to take out the Vigoroth, and we're able to take that game. Into the next game, we've got a triple level 50 team with Spinder in the lead, leading into a Venusaur. We're going to go straight for the Icy Wind here. This will hit for super effective damage. Unfortunately, not going to do too much up against the Venusaur, but we do grab a shield. As well, we do debuff their attack. The opponent's going to throw on the CMP type with our next Charge Move. Frenzy Plant would probably barely just not take us out from that range with a debuff, but we can go for a second Icy Wind, and now this next Frenzy Plant probably won't KO, so we could let it go through, but we are going to double shield our Spinder. The opponent swaps into a Medicham, so we're going to come in with our Fury Cutter Farfetch, go straight for the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace is going to do some decent damage to the Medicham. We can tank the Charge Move coming through. They're actually going to go for a Psychic though. That gets us very low, but we do just barely make it to a Leaf Blade in time, and Leaf Blade should be enough damage damage to take out the Medicham. They come back in with their Venusaur. We can now come in with our Delibird. We are going to resist the Frenzy Plant coming through if they throw Frenzy Plant, which they do for some reason. And now we're going to go straight for the Fly. Of course, Icy Wind does debuff their attack, but Fly going to hit for more damage. We take out the Venusaur, and the opponent's got Bastiodon in the back. And oh my gosh, Spinder has great coverage here, so we go for a dig, dealing double super effective damage. And a second dig should barely be enough to take out the Bastiodon here. And it comes through. Dig does take out the Bastiodon, and we're able to take that game. Into the next game, we got Tyrantrum into Charjabug. So this is a good matchup on paper. We are running Rock Throw Rock Throw, by the way, and the opponent's going to Safe Swap into a Tangrowth. They're going to go for an Ancient Power. Luckily, Ancient Power are not a Rock Slide, because Rock Slide does do slightly more damage there, and we can now shield this up and go for a full Bite Farm Down, which is very interesting to run on your Salamence. Typically, it's Fire Fang or Dragon Tail, but we come out with an Outrage loaded, which is very nice. Outrage coming through, grabs a shield from the Charjabug. We come back in with our Tyrantrum. Unfortunately, considering we are a dinosaur here, we don't resist. Well, actually, they go for a Discharge there, which is completely unnecessary. Should have gone for the X-Scissor, but the opponent's just going to quit the game after seeing our Vileplume, and we're able to take that game. But into the next battle, we see an Avalugg in the lead up against a Shadow Kanto Muck. Gonna go straight for the Body Slam here. Body Slam grabs a shield from the Muck. And honestly, Avalugg is fairly bulky, so we might just let this move go through. We are going to let it go through, and the opponent goes for a Dark Pulse, doesn't quite take us out, but they're able to Poison Jab farm us down. We now come in with our Shiny Lampent here. Gonna shield this move as it could be another Dark Pulse, but they go for an Acid Spray bait instead, so nice play by the opponent. We can shield, go for the full farm down, and let's see what the opponent wants to do. They're going to come in with a Poliwrath, so we're going straight for the Energy Ball here. Do they know about the Energy Ball coverage? No, and we one-shot the Poliwrath, and they've got an Umbreon in the back, and this is still going to be very difficult here. We're trying to make it to a charge move. We're going to bank the energy and then swap into our Clawitzer here. Going to let the first move go through as they go for a foul play. Honestly, we don't tank that very well. We're going to shield the next charge move coming through, foul play number 2, and now we can just barely make it to a Crab Hammer in time. This looks like a CMP tie as well. Crab Hammer will grab the final shield from the opponent, but we will be going down to the foul play here. So can we somehow clutch out this game with the Lampert? We need this to KO here. Energy Ball coming through. Doesn't quite take them out, but one Ember does the job. We live the Snarl there, and we take out the Umbreon to take that game. And now into the final battle, and oh my gosh, this is really fast. This is actually the speed they sent it to me in, so I didn't even times by 2, but either way, we're going to double shield here. The opponent's now going to come in with a Vigoroth. We go for the Icy Wind, debuff in their attack, go for a second Icy Wind. I mean, we are running Wobbuffet, so maybe that's the reason. Maybe there's a really long matchup in here at some point, but here we're going to go for another Icy Wind as the opponent goes for a Body Slam bait for whatever reason. We're now going to come in with the Quilladin. We can live an Icy Wind here, so we're going to let it go through. Going to go for the Energy Ball, I do believe this is, and we grab the final shield from the opponent. We can now come in with our Wobbuffet, and the opponent is going to go for an Icy Wind, debuffing their attack, and this Mirror Shot really doesn't do an awful lot of damage there, but we are going to see the opponent's now going to swap into their Vigoroth. Can we make it to a return to take out the Vigoroth? Yes, we are able to do so. Return takes out the Vigoroth. They come back in with the Poliwrath. We tried to catch a move there, but we're able to counter, farm them down, and take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.